And this is my office. Come on in. Very superstitious, so I always have to sit right here to post a video. If we don't sit right here, we have a bad video. Since 2019, my income has almost tripled. YouTube is very much like the snowball effect, where all the work you put in starts building up that momentum, which builds more momentum, which builds even more momentum. There have been a lot of changes throughout these last 2 years. I've moved to Las Vegas. I now have 5 YouTube channels. I've doubled down on the content I'm putting out, and things are busier than ever.
I did not know that he had 5 YouTube channels. Man, I'm learning something new every day. I thought he had like 2 or 3 or something like that. I did not know that Stephan. I knew he had the podcast. No. I thought he had 3. Because I thought he had the 2 Stephans or Stephan Graham or some crap like that. And then he had the podcast or whatever. But I did not know he had 5 YouTube channels. That's pretty impressive because I got a bunch of YouTube channels myself, obviously. But he doubled down on content, doubled down on the thing that he does well. And then he's making a ton of money. But let's get into it.
My name is Stephan. I'm 31 years old. I make $6.1 million a year in Las
I like that number. That makes me feel all good and cushy inside.
Vegas, Nevada. And this is, wait for it, millennial money.
Never miss an opportunity to promote yourself. Ever. I wonder if he's going to talk about why he moved to Las Vegas. 2019 was the first year that Graham earned $1 million from his YouTube channels. His net worth is now $15.5 million.
My day is really boring. People think it's really exciting. Honestly, 10 hours a day is probably just spent just in front of a computer. So I would say usually I'll wake up anywhere between like 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. And then I walk 20 feet to my office. I close the door. And usually I don't come out until like 6 p.m., sometimes 7. But in that office, I'm just trying to think of video ideas. I'm trying to plan out different concepts. For some reason,
did y'all notice? Let me go back a little bit. Did y'all notice he was actually editing his own content? There's a debate that's happening amongst content creators as far as being able to separate responsibilities in order to ease up what it is that you do. I myself am going through a transformation in which I'm trying to balance out the things that I want to let go and put in the hands and the responsibilities of that thing into other people's hands in order to free up time for me to make more money and do the things that generate the more revenue and the things that I want to stay hands-on on, which is one of the reasons why it takes you having a calendar. But a lot of what people do that get to a certain level is they do work harder than you, but the majority of the time that they're spending, especially earlier in the day, is mining out different concepts, understanding things, planning things out, and then being able to generate the most revenue. Stephan, as a financial expert, makes the majority of his money off of content creation.
For some reason, I have an easier time planning videos on a beanbag than I do on the couch. But I edit on the couch. You could just take this, put it here.
Dude is doing his own editing still. That's pretty dope.
And usually then after about 6 p.m., 6:30, we're wrapped up and try to take the rest of the day off.
So he spends the majority of his time working. First 10 hours of his day is grind time. When I say, and again, how they're working or whether or not they're using their physical bodies and all that other type of stuff is completely different than what it is that you're talking about, people that make less work harder and all of that. I would say people that actually make the most work the hardest.
So since the first episode, Macy moved in with me, and it's been really nice that throughout the day I can take little breaks and we can hang
girlfriend,
out and
Macy.
see each other. And it's nice just to kind of take myself out of the computer every now and then and just clear my mind and just relax.
Get it, Graham. I heard that he engaged now. This is the part I wanted to get to.
I can't believe it's already been almost 2 years since.
It's a nice house.
Wow. So I grew up in Los Angeles my entire life.
Trash.
It's really all I knew, and when the pandemic
Great weather,
hit,
but
it
trash.
really made me reevaluate where I wanted to be and where I wanted to work. And once I came up to Las Vegas to see a friend, we really got to experience a different side that I've never seen before. And I really liked it, and I was able to get so much more for the money. I was able to get so much more space. Everything was less expensive, and that allowed me to expand my entire business in ways that just was not as possible in Los Angeles.
The question that I ask myself a lot of times when I see people that have this perspective, because obviously we have no idea exactly what Graham's politics is. He stays away from that. He doesn't get into controversial things, which is one of the reasons why he appeals to the majority of people, because he stays right there in that middle where it's not as polarizing. You don't have to pick a side. You're not alienating a group of people, right? But I'm always wondering what the politics is, because what I hear from a lot of people a lot of times, and they say, yo, we don't want you here in our other states. We don't want you here in Nevada. We don't want you here in Texas. We don't want you in Arizona. We don't want you in Florida, right? A lot of Californians is moving out for business reasons. The cost of doing business is significantly lower. The taxes is significantly lower, especially for high income earners. You don't have to pay state taxes. And then more importantly, right, they're running away from the thing that they created largely. This is true. He's getting a lot more for his money, which obviously is contributing to inflation in that particular area. I'm just bringing it back to the original conversation that we was having earlier. But my point is that people are making decisions based off of business reasons. I would probably say to you that he probably does not even go out and spend the majority of his time in the environment that he visited his friend and experienced. He probably spends overwhelming majority of his house of his time in the house. He even said in the beginning of his live stream, yo, my life is boring. It's not even what y'all think it is. I don't care nothing about no real estate.
There's certainly a financial component to moving here as well that would allow me to get a home that is almost 4,000 square feet for half the cost in Los Angeles. It allows me to have people working from the house all day, that we could collaborate with each other.
Yep.
That just wasn't as doable in Los Angeles. And there's certainly the state income tax. I would be saving 13.3% living here. And so that has to be factored in, that allows me more money left over that I could reinvest elsewhere. And
what did I just say? And not only that, I'm sure he's probably using his house as a deduction, because he uses the majority of the house to create content and have people working over there every day. He wake up, he walks over to his office, he does his studio thing, he does all of that other type of stuff, and then he gets to the bag. He's looking at everything from a business perspective. He says he's saving over 13%. Listen, think about it. If you're making $6 million a year and you're saving 13%, what is that? The equivalent of 700,000 plus that you're not giving over into the state of California alone? And that ain't even considering all of the other. Let's continue. I want to see what he got to say first.
a lot of that money just goes back into the business. This is my set, and I was able to completely.
Hold on. Y'all missed it. When he said a lot of the money goes back into the business.
That allows me more money left over that I could reinvest elsewhere, and a lot of that money just goes back into the business.
Let me tell you what he's really saying. Translation, when he says a lot of the money just goes back into the business. Translation, what he's really telling you is, I'm putting more money back into the business, which increases my net worth. It increases my net worth, and it lowers my tax burden. The more money that you can say that you reinvest back into your business, the less you have to give over into the federal government, because what happens is it lowers your adjusted gross income. Your adjusted gross income is what it is. Listen. Next time that your people do your taxes and you run over the H&R Block, right? Jackson Hewitt, and you run over into these places and you do the thing that you could probably do yourself online at home, because all you're doing is inserting your W-2 information. What's happening is, if you look at what it is that you're contributing on your taxes, right? And you look at it and you say, okay, well, what does AGI mean? My adjusted gross income. It means how much you made versus how much you lost or had to reinvest. And then what does that number look like? So let's just say, for example, take Graham Stephan, and he would make $6.1 million a year, but he had to reinvest $1 million of it back into the business in order to increase his net worth, buy cameras, buy studio space, all of this other type of stuff. What happens is it lowers his adjusted gross income and the money that he's being taxed from the federal government from 6.1 to 5.1. So now he pays less in taxes. He gives you a better product. He has a thriving business that's continuing to expand and grow. He can pay people to work for him and so on and so forth to do the things that he can't do or to be able to expand a lot more rapidly. And he actually gets incentivized to do so from the federal government, and he don't have to pay state taxes to the state of California anymore because he just moved over one state over to Nevada. That's looking at things from a business perspective, okay?
This is my set, and I was able to completely duplicate the exact same thing that I had back in LA. So when I'm filming, everything stays the exact same.
He got a ring light and some other lights and a camera. It looked like he got one of them monitors where he can read the words that's coming through, like the president, so to speak. Whoa, snaps. He got that Ford GT back there. That's sick. But it's not a really complicated setup. It's pretty dope.
And there's really no changes that are made. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. It also really helps too that it seems like a lot of the financial guys on YouTube all live in Las Vegas, and it almost seems to play into the whole frugality thing.
I'm about to move to Las Vegas. Actually, I'm gonna move to Florida.
Further. And it was something that I've never experienced before because I've always lived in Los Angeles, so that was the norm. So leaving that and being able to experience something new just gave me a much wider perspective of what else was out there.
Your network is your net worth. He said all of the guys that I rock with, or all of the financial guys, actually wasn't living in California. They were living in Vegas, which allowed for him to expand his view and then ultimately level up even more than he was when he was making 1.2 million when he was living in California. Sometimes you got to walk away from the thing that you're used to in order to get more insight and information and then be able to grow significantly, whether it's your income, whether it's your personal life, everything. You can grow and evolve based off of a new environment and new information.
Ramsey wants to help. Ramsey, what do you think? Oh, yeah, he likes that. The money I keep in bank accounts has certainly increased, and some of that is just to continually pay taxes as they're due. But the other aspect of it is that I am always on the hunt for a good deal, and I never know where that's gonna come. So I prefer to keep some cash on the sidelines.
That's crazy.
If I see a good real estate deal come up, if there's a good investment opportunity, I'm always able to jump on that.
He said he saved $400,000 a month. He keeps $2 million in a savings account. That is insane to me. Now, he did give a little bit of an explanation, so I can rock with his explanation because it's not like he's just keeping it in there for the sake of keeping it in there. He's keeping it in there so that he can move and be a little bit more nimble with taking advantage of different deals that may pop up. So it's not like it's just sitting there just to be sitting there. He's actually utilizing it and he's deploying it. But just to have that junk sitting there, oh man, that makes me feel a certain type of way. I don't think that I could do it. I don't think that I'm built to just let even $100,000 just sit in a bank account. That sounds crazy to me. No way, no freaking how. But I like the fact that he's saving $4.8 million a year. $4.8 million a year, the equivalent of $400,000 a month. I want to see this budget. He invests 60% of it and the rest goes towards taxes and savings. Bought a 4-bedroom house in Las Vegas for $1.44 million with a 15% down payment. Woo! Get your toys, young man. I like Rolexes. He likes 310-gallon aquariums.
Every single time I walk by to the kitchen, I'm just sitting here looking at it.
He spent $45,000 on that?
And every single time you see something new. So I still track every week.
Wait. He spent $45,000 on that?
Every single time I walk by to the kitchen, I'm just sitting here looking at it for like 30 minutes. And every single time you see something new.
I don't know. Everybody got, he making
So I
enough
still
money. He can
track
do what he
every
want to
week
do.
all the money that comes in, all the money that goes out, but
This
there
is his monthly
really
spending.
No
Let's look at
budget
this.
at this point that I stick to, because like the default is always, I'm gonna save.
All right, let me break this down. He got a personal spending budget of less than $10,000 a month. That sound about right. He spends $6,400 a month on his home in Las Vegas, $820 on food, $632 on his car. $632 on his car. I thought he had an electric car. He got a car note? That don't even make sense. I thought he had a Tesla. Okay. Utilities $570, discretionary $446, insurance $437, phone $50, subscription $20. I don't see anything wrong with this budget at all, but I'm trying to understand what the heck is going on with the car. What is $632 for the car? That don't make any sense to me.
The default is never spent.
That's weird.
112 degrees. Barely feel it. Yeah, it doesn't feel any higher than 95.
What kind of car is that? I need to see what kind of car this is.
Barely feel it. Yeah, it doesn't feel any higher than 95
That's an Audi. He's driving an Audi, so he must have more than one car.
today.
How did the smallest person end up in like the best seat of the car?
If I do spend money, I mean, it's not enough to ever really move the needle. At the very most, it's going out to all-you-can-eat sushi at like $21 a person. And that's me even like extravagantly spending. There it is. Super sushi.
Oh, Jesus.
I will get the bankroll. From a spending standpoint, there are some changes from about 2 years ago. The biggest change was that back then I would do anything just for the sake of cutting back a little bit more and saving. And at this point, I definitely eased up a little bit. And the biggest thing that I would say that I've started spending money on that I never imagined in the past was being able to buy back my time. As an example of that, I would say sometimes delivering food to the house.
Yep.
If that means that I could save an hour and a half, or even I could spend an extra hour and a half with Macy so she doesn't have to cook.
Think about it though, y'all. Let's break this down. And this is why I say, once you're able to buy back your time, you start to look at things a little bit differently, right? Now that he understands what the value of his time is, he moves differently. So that means we don't think about using money the same way that a normal, everyday, middle-class American thinks about using money. They thinking about money from the perspective of, I need to save it. Why would I go out to eat when I can cook? Why would I pay extra, to get stuff delivered when I could? I'm sure that, first of all, when he goes out and they discuss business at that restaurant, it's meals and entertainment. That's A. That's A. B, I'm also thinking about the idea that he's talking about, listen, I'm buying back my time. Instead of me spending time doing this or going grocery shopping and then bringing it back home and then putting it in the refrigerator and then we got to cook that stuff. I'm going to just get this junk delivered. You start to think about your time and you start to compartmentalize it a little bit differently. So I like that. Thank you, Graham, for not just running over to McDonald's and spending $2 on a Happy Meal or some crap.
And getting a house cleaner, that was something that
getting a house cleaner
done before.
Yep. Wait. Graham splits $250 a month with his girlfriend to hire a cleaning. Graham is a pimp. Graham Stephan is a pimp. He is still splitting costs with his girlfriend to hire a cleaning person for the house. That is pretty freaking incredible. Shout out to Graham Stephan. I didn't know he was out here pimping like that. Pimping. That's a part of the housing costs. $820 a month on dining takeout for him, Macy, and his team. Pays around $300 a month for the couple's groceries. Wait. Macy pays $300 a month for the groceries? So he's splitting costs as far as cleaning and groceries with this chick? Wow. Yo, I think that is probably the more entertaining part of this conversation. Instead of paying attention to what it is that he making, yo, this chick is this dude is pimping. Stephan is still splitting costs with his girlfriend, now fiance.
An hour and a half, or even I could spend an extra hour and a half with Macy, so she doesn't have to cook. Even getting a house cleaner, that was something that I've never done before.
Wow. This is pretty impressive, bro. This is pretty incredible. Yeah, y'all want to date these modern men? This is pretty funny.
For sound, let's get that.
We got that car locked up, boy. Nothing but a
And then, so when we filmed the first episode, I was spending about 20% of my time working as a real estate agent, and then the other 80% of the time, till probably like 2 o'clock in the morning every single night, I'd be making YouTube videos. But when the pandemic hit and we were all just inside, that was the point for me where I was like, I want to just go all in on YouTube.
Facts. I like that. Got 4.5 million subscribers across 5 YouTube accounts. That's dope. YouTube ad, teachable sponsorships, and affiliates.
I think the biggest shift for me over the last 2 years was probably more into financial commentary, because it gives me more content to work off of and to add my own thoughts about. Because at the end of the day, there's only so many times I could talk about how to set up a Roth IRA. So in 2020, the YouTube ad revenue made about $2.5 million. And in 2021, we're on track to probably hit about $2.8 to $3 million by the end of the year.
So of his $6.1 million income and 4.5 or 4 million plus subscribers, which he'll continue to grow, he only generates $2+ million from that, even though he makes $6 million a year, over $6 million a year. So a lot of people thinking that, hey, I got monetized, I got 1,000 subscribers. That don't necessarily mean that you're going to get no bags. Just because you have a following does not necessarily mean that you're making no money off of YouTube. And this is one of the things that I keep trying to tell people. Don't mean that it can't happen, but literally, let's put the numbers into perspective. $2+ million a year off of 400,000 subscribers. I'm sorry, 4.5 million subscribers across 5 channels. And the majority of his money is probably coming from affiliates and sponsorships. That's just facts.
Hey guys, want to come to the office? Yeah. Cool. Yeah. 2 years ago, I was pretty much doing everything myself. And it got to a point about 1.5 years ago where I had no time. I mean, I was going from probably 6 o'clock in the morning to 8, 9 p.m. at night.
Yep.
As much as I enjoyed it, it was slowly wearing down on me. And the tipping point for me was really when I started to see my own content and my own work decline. That's the point where it started making sense to bring someone else on. Posting time, you know what we need? We need one of those little bells. Bang, 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 bang. That's what we need for posting time. Bang, bang, 3:30.
There's a giant over Graham. Jesus. Look at these giants. Either they got the wrong camera angle or what the heck is going on. They're making Graham Stephan look like a midget.
So Jack now we have full time. He edits the videos on the second channel. He runs the podcast with me. We've just recently hired on Alex, who helps edit some of those videos on the podcast. He's doing the vlog. And these are things that just wouldn't be possible on my own. I enjoyed just being like a one-man operation. I took a lot of pride in the fact
agree.
That, like, you know, look at all these people out there with these huge teams and look at how much I'm able to accomplish on my own. But I think at a certain point that was holding me back from continuing to grow, because there's only so much work that I could do before just mentally you get burned out, and then at that point work begins to suffer. So there we go.
So he made a really good point. And he said that, yo, you have to grow to the point to where you can't even control your own, or you've outgrown your ability to generate and be successful on your own. It has to come to a point to where the people that you surround yourself with have to add value, or you need to start surrounding yourself with people that add just as much value to what it is that you're doing, because you need to buy back some of your time to be a little bit more effective and efficient, in which he did take pride in the fact that he was doing all of that on his own. I think that that's a phenomenal point.
I just got the notification, so I see it posted. 1 dislike already. Somebody's there. It's like, get the notification, dislike. Another thing I do out of
Every dime.
superstition is that I always click on the video as soon as it posts, and I'll watch it all the way through just to make sure everything is perfect. And as you can see, I always hit my own like button.
It's always going to be a hater somewhere. Shout out to the haters. How can you dislike Stephan? He's such a nice guy.
Back then, like 2-3 years ago, I was indiscriminate about where I would be spending my time. There you have it, espresso. I would work 2 a.m. I would wake up at 6 a.m. I just wouldn't care. I would just work. It didn't matter where I spent my time as long as I was doing something productive.
I agree.
Now I feel like I work a lot more efficiently, and every hour of my day is allocated to doing something. So I really look at, where is my time best spent?
Ooh.
How
Have Time Dog not been pushing y'all to start looking at y'all time and y'all calendar a little bit differently a long time ago?
how am I able to get the most done during that time? And I've done my best to try to find as much balance as I can between having a life a little bit and working, even though I will say, like, work is my life in quite a big sense, and I enjoy it, but I've definitely become a lot more efficient and balanced in the process.
I want to see how he's splitting resources with his girl.
Risk of building your entire career on YouTube and potentially being at the whims of an algorithm. But I think to counteract that, we have such a supportive community. I've tried to diversify a little bit to other platforms, and if something were to happen, I would always have something else to fall back on, and that relieves some of the stress or some of the need to, keep the hamster wheel going and really do this from a place of authenticity, in the sense that, like, I really enjoy making content, not so much because it's like, oh, I need to sustain this lifestyle that just disappears if something
I need to find his other channels.
I don't know what's
I wonder if that's a Steinway. Anyways, I think that was a great video. I'm glad that I watched it. I know you guys were telling me I needed to check it out. So shout out to Stephan and what it is that he's doing. I think that he's doing a phenomenal job. I watch his content from time to time, but I need to find out what that other channel is, what those other channels are. And then also, in addition to that, I'll also need to find out what the heck is going on with him and his chick, and why is he splitting costs. Anyways, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for tapping in. I hope you have a phenomenal day. Again, the work never stops. So even though I am on a plane or I'm possibly on my way to the airport right now, you are still going to get this work, because I need you to start making sure that you're doing things intentionally instead of just doing it just for the sake of doing it. It all has to come down to looking at things from a business perspective. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. If you have not already, take an opportunity to check out the Patreon and join up and rock out with a group of people that's going in the direction that you're going in, because we're doing some great things in there. The link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. And if you rock with me and you genuinely enjoy some of the content, or you find any value whatsoever, make sure you hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications. And then last but not least, if you need to kick it with me personally, email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com and we're going to get you set up. I love you. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to rock out with y'all later, but I need you to do me one more thing before we get up out of here. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. We don't want to be rich by ourselves. We're going to continue to get to that bag. We're going to continue to win in every shape, possible form that we can possibly win in. And we are not going to compromise when it comes to becoming the best version of ourselves. That's what a bag chaser is. I love you. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.